Hello, Glitch Reaper here. We're back with some more Magic Duels here in the story mode, and I just figured out that that was just a few pixels off. Anyhow, we're here with the story mode with Shadows over Innistrad, and we're about to get to the, well, we're at the fifth area of this, like the fifth mission. Again, this one's a bit longer than most, so normally this would be the end, but there's one afterwards, so that's going to be is something that's going to be an unusual treat for everybody. Is extended mission. But anyhow, let's get into this part of it first. The Archangel Avacyn, former protector of Innistrad, descends into the cathedral in a flurry of bloody wings, leaving a wake of fiery destruction behind her. Avacyn's mind is a maze of frenzied turbulence that sends the telepath Jace reeling. Tamiyo runs to his aid, though she too is struggling through the Archangel's madness. Thing is that Planeswalkers used to be more powerful, and she was created by Soren Markov to keep the balance in the plane of Innistrad. And so he's going to have to do something that he really doesn't want to at some point. I don't know if it's going to... Just a moment. Sorry about that. I don't remember if it's going to be in the storyline where it shows when it happens, but at some point he has to destroy his own creation. He has to destroy Avacyn because the presence of the Eldrazi has driven her completely mad, and she's no longer the protector she was designed to be. So now that Soren's not quite as powerful as he used to be during the old school times, he still has to go through with this at some point and defeat her. But right now, it's Tamiyo and Jace that are under the barrel of her gun. And for that matter, having this particular staff pointed right at their faces. So we have a twofer here. Jace and Tamiyo versus Archangel Avacyn. Oh, I can't scroll right now. Let me see. Canopy Vista. That's white and green. Oh, this is going to be one really mixed deck. I do have Jace Unraveler of Secrets here, but I have no blue to cast it. I have no items to... I have no islands to cast this, so I think I need to draw. That's a lot better. That's a lot better. I have 3 lands, and some of them are green, so I should be able to do this. So now I can do this. I have Force to give me some nice green mana, and I have some green stuff to cast, so this should work out well. In fact, this one looks pretty nice. Tireless Tracker. Whenever a land enters the battlefield in your control, investigate. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, put a +1/+1 counter on Tireless Tracker. Okay, so he can power up. That's good. So I think I'm going to go with this nice hand here. Hope that I can really turn this into something special. Thraben Gargoyle. Defender and pay 6, transform Thraben Gargoyle. When you do, it becomes a 4/2 with flying. So they have something that's probably going to go over my head pretty early on, so this might not turn out very good. Of course, I have to pay a lot to transform that, so that's not going to happen for several rounds. Okay, so I think I can go ahead and put this Hinterland Harbor out. It gives you blue or green, but it comes into play tapped unless you control a forest or an island. But that's not a big ideal right now, because right now I can't cast anything in particular that would be useful. Unruly Mob. Whenever another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Unruly Mob. Oh boy. Here we go. So even when I succeed in taking out creatures, as long as they keep that one safe, it's going to get a lot bigger. So that could be an issue. Oh, this is good. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with flying. Yeah, that might come in if they transform that later. So, yeah, I'm grateful I got that card early on, because I'm gonna hold on to that. And I'm just gonna play myself an island. There's nothing I can do right now. This thing every time I do missions with Jace, it winds up with a slow start. Okay, so there may have been like once or twice I had something out decently quickly, but usually no. And since green is also kind of like that, where it tends to take a little while to really set in, This is gonna be a turnaround type situation, if it even works. Paranoid Perish Blade. If you have delirium, it gets +1/+0 and has first strike as long as they're. Well, the thing about how delirium works in this set is as long as you have 4 or more different card types in your graveyard, you get something that powers up that card. In this case, it just gets +1/+0 and has first strike, so it gains a power boost in first strike just for having delirium status. It's very hit and miss when it comes to cards, when it comes to delirium status, because there's some that are good, some that aren't really, so Oh wow, I get a selection of creatures this time. Graph Mole, whenever you sacrifice a clue, you gain 3 life. Oh, okay. And it's like a 2/4, so that's not bad to use as a blocker. Tireless Tracker is 3/2, but it gets a counter whenever you sacrifice a clue. Whenever a land enters the battlefield, you get to investigate and get a clue. So I think I'm going to start up with the Graph Mole, because it is tougher. And right now, I need a decent blocker. So that's how this start is going. I need a blocker. They realize I can block it, and for that matter, block kill a few things. Scroll of Avacyn. Okay, I haven't seen this before. Pay 1, sacrifice Scroll of Avacyn, draw a card. If you control an angel, you gain 5 life. Oh my gosh. Words to bless the eye that reads them, telling a future beyond the reach of fear. Cool quote. Possibly a little dangerous. So they can get a card draw, and if they have an angel at the time, they also gain a decent amount of life. Ooh, Evolving Wilds. Okay, this could be good. I'm going to go ahead and use that immediately, because that ability for Evolving Wilds is always nice. Because of the multicolor nature of this deck, I am taking that Soul Plains in there. I think I will put in Tireless Tracker, because if I cast this Confront the Unknown afterwards, it allows me to investigate and get a clue token. So they do have the overall attack power to kill that, so I'm probably going to wait and use it more to block. You always got to think of the worst case scenario when it comes to an enemy blocking, because as long as they have enough oomph, Unruly Mob or this one. I think I'm probably going to block with my mole, because if they power it up, they're going to need to power it up more to get past that. I figured they was going to do that. Destroy target attacking or blocking creature with power 3 or less. Okay, so that would have been able to affect either of them I would have chose. It's not a power up, but that also means that that whole thing's negated. Okay, Prairie Stream, nice. This is another one for Battle for Zendikar set, and it allows you to have it enter the battlefield perfectly fine, as long as you just have a couple of basic lands already. So yeah, I'm good with that. Okay, Altered Ego. Can't be countered. I might be able to use this. How much mana do I got? Because this has a converted mana cost of 4. Okay, I have 5. So I would be able to get that extra X in, because this one is special. The X is a bonus that you can spend on it, and if you do, it comes in with that many +1/+1 counters. So spend, like, okay, you take a minimum of 4, but you decide to spend 5. That means it will become a copy of any creature on the battlefield, and it'll have an extra counter on it compared to them. So that comes up really nice. In fact, I might actually, I'm curious about something. I'm really curious. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to pay that extra one for that. I'm going to copy a Thraben Gargoyle. So now it's better than that one, because now it's the super copy. New and improved. But the thing about it is, I'm wondering if I can actually expend the mana to... Oh boy, here we go. Do I want to block this? Because I will get a lot better with this card if I do not. I think I'm going to let that go through this time, actually. Because if I can get another land, I can gain the flying power first. Reaper, Flight, Moon, Silver. Oh my gosh. Speaking of flying, here comes a flying creature from their side. A flying, and if it has Delirium, you can sacrifice another creature, and it gets +2/+1 until end of turn. Okay. It's decently costly, but it's a 3/3 with flying, so I'm already having a slight disadvantage. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the land. I get to investigate. I get to... Oh, yeah, that's right. I have clip wings. What am I thinking? I can just annihilate this. Goodbye. Okay, Confront the Unknown can also help me out. I think I'm going to go ahead and use it. I'm going to investigate, and I'm going to power this one up. Okay, it's now a 6/6. And on top of that, I can sack some clues if I want to. I think I'll... Oh, that's an artwork I hadn't seen before. Remember to have generic research Markov manner. Okay, so she had assistance. So now that one's powered up. I get my draw. Confront the Unknown again. Oh my gosh. Thank you. That has Defender, so it's not going to work. But I think if I just... so I should be able to block kill a few things with that now. But... do I attack? This doesn't have a special ability that's going to get past him. So I think I'm going to let that counter build up a few rounds and make it stronger. Then again, maybe not. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and forget about my little experiment and just let this take this out. So there goes my Altered Ego. Seraph of the Dawn, Flying and Lifelink Angel. Okay. We have that being a thing. Okay. We have Sun Petal Grove. It comes in the battlefield untapped. It comes in the battlefield tapped unless you control a forest or plains, but it can give you white or green mana. And I just got landfall again. Well, basically landfall. I can actually cast this now, and maybe do something else too. Let's see. I think I'll start building them up and see if this works. Because Jace Unraveler of Secrets is pretty good, and I also still have a Clip Wings card. So I'm playing my Planeswalker. And he has like scry 1, then draw a card for adding a loyalty counter, -2 of them. Turn target creature to owner's hand. If I can get up to his ultimate with -8, is you get an emblem with whenever an opponent casts his or her first spell each turn, counter that spell, which is insane. I think I'm going to draw a card, so thank you. Yes. Another land. Clip Wings or Confront the Unknown might be good. That's an instant, so I should probably wait until my next turn. But I can also... well, they're only going to get past it temporarily. So I might hold on to this next turn and just annihilate one of those reflexively. Oh, both of them are instants. Okay, I'll just figure out what my opponent does next turn. I still don't have the ability to get past their wall here. By wall, I mean just a line of creatures. I need to be able to start stomping so I can get an opening. Okay. You're not hitting him. Bye. Admittedly, that thing is going to be an issue. Another one. Okay, they have two. They have two of those. Prepare Flight Moon Silver. Take two. And I don't have anything else to get rid of their flying right now. But I do have something that's a flyer of my own suddenly. That's nice. Silent Observer. It has flying and it's a 1/5, so it can be a good blocker. So let's get that out. I'd like to draw another card. Journey to Nowhere. Whenever it enters the battlefield, exile target creature. Whenever it leaves the battlefield, return it back to the battlefield under its owner's control. Yeah, I'll take that. But because this will allow me to get this creature finally out of my hair. Goodbye. There's also a special little rule about that. Whenever you exile a creature, if it's returned back, it doesn't have its counters on it. So I just depowered that. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I think I'm going to see if I can stop, because I have like 4 clues, and this thing's ability gives them a +1/+1 till end of turn for each clue you control. And that's after getting another clue, so it's going to get additional +5/+5. Yeah, let's see if we can get them to just let me stomp something. Because that is going to hit like a truck if they don't block. They didn't block. I am surprised. Because I just ripped 9 points of damage right off of them. Okay, they recovered a bit because of that scroll they finally used. They are transforming the card. And now they have the ability to attack. I figured they'd combine forces on him. But I'm prepared for this. Because I have that, I can block 4 of that damage. He's still gonna take 3. So I'm still on the gradual loss of Jace, Unraveler of Secrets there. So I may need to grab a few extra draws. Ooh, Evolving Wilds again. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Because his ability activates to investigate every single time a land enters. And this lets me basically get another land immediately. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and activate that ability twice. Okay. And now I'm going to draw a card. After scrying a bit. Thank you. Raven Inspector. When it enters the battlefield, you get to investigate. I'm sensing a pattern here. I have a lot of land. You know, I have so many clues. I'm wondering. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. I can expend 3 of these. Okay. With angels came mysteries. An angel feather has been sacrificed as a clue. Okay. Clue: for every answer, 3 questions. Whatever piece of hedron this is, or something similar, it has now been sacrificed as a clue. A graph mole. Whenever you sacrifice a clue, you gain 3 life. Yeah. That would be a good boost. So I'm going to go ahead and let that happen. And then I am going to hammer them with this one. Because it has gotten strong. My Tireless Tracker, yeah, this might wind up being MVP. Or actually MVC, Most Valuable Creature. A Human Scout is now Most Valuable Creature. Okay. And on top of that, I can... Oh wait, let's see. Angelic Purge. Oh, here we go. As an additional cost to cast Angelic Purge, sacrifice a permanent. Exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment. Angelic Purge. Yeah, they got rid of my tracker. I figured they probably would. Because it was the best creature. I mean, it had a lot of power, so I figured they realized suddenly, oh, here's the AI telling them that, by the way, if you don't block this, then it's going to grow out of control and just whack you in the next turn. Because I had so many clues to unleash. Okay, they're ending their turn. I'm going to Sun Petal Grove this. I'm going to power up with a nice Scry and draw. Sage of Ancient Lore. Oh gosh, this looks interesting. Sage of Ancient Lore's power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your hand. When it enters the battlefield, you get to draw a card. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform Sage of Ancient Lore. So, yeah, I know this is a good card. So I will draw a card. It will get better as I get more card draws. So their little concern is now, oh, I got a sleep card. I can use that probably next time, but for now I'm going to be sacking more clues. So that mysterious floating castle. Goodbye, clue. It's nice to have seen you. Give me a card. Thank you. Another floating castle. Nice to have seen you. Goodbye. Okay. Got some interesting things here. I'm gonna keep my flyer so I can try to block one of those. I got a Bygone Bishop. It's interesting. It's useful in an interesting way because it's whenever you cast a creature spell with mana cost 3 or less, you get to investigate. So if I get any more creature spells that are that cheap, I would still be getting additional card draws. And because I sacrificed so many clues, I just rocketed my health from that mole. So that was a nice combo. Thank you for this particular deck, Magic Duels. Another Thraben Gargoyle. They don't have enough mana to transform it right now. They had like just on the edge. So next turn they'd be able to. Because they have like 6 planes. I have way more mana than they do right now. They're ending their turn. Okay. Thraben Inspector. When it enters the battlefield, investigate. Okay. But I think I'll play the Bishop first. Wait a moment. I think I have enough to finish this. Like right now. But first I'll draw a card. Why? Just to increase this guy's power a bit more. Glacial Fortress, yes. This guy's now a 6/6 off the cards in my hand. He's going to be a 5/5 after I unleash this little number. But it'll be worth it, because Sleep, again, classic. Tap all creatures target player controls, and those creatures don't untap during that player's next untap step. So they're going to be just paralyzed, and I have more than enough attack power to finish them off. So, go to sleep. Okay. Avacyn, you've been a lovely guest, but I'm sorry, you need to be removed. I may not be Sorin, but you will be removed from this combat. The time to get pummeled. I don't know, just in case they have some weird trick up their sleeves. I guess I'm just going to finish them off exactly. I'm just going to let those two do it. Nope. No trick. Just gone. Thanks, Sage of Ancient Lore. By the way, that one can transform into a much bigger werewolf. So it's so I didn't even get the full power version of that. I'm trying to remember what its other effect is. I can look that up. Yeah, Champion of the Drowned Catacomb. I had a quest. I'll show what the Sage of Ancient Lore would have turned into in a moment, because I can go through my card collection. Okay, but back with our storyline. Just as Jace and Tamiyo believe they have managed to contain Avacyn, the Archangel unleashes the full force of her fury upon the pair. The cathedral crumbles around them, and the planeswalkers are knocked to the ground. So, Avacyn is very mad. So it's not over, and we have another round. So, yeah, I have a feeling we're going to be continuing this rumble later. But first, a word from our card collection. Might be a good time just to show off how to navigate your card collection in this game. There's ways to do it, like you can say show owned cards, and then it'll only go to ones that you own. Show all cards also shows the ones that you don't yet and are possible to collect. And you can also use advanced filters. Like, for example, you can do it by mana color, including things that are specifically colorless, things that just have like generic mana worth in them. You can do it by the set. You can do it by the new cards if you've just got some, like if you've just opened a pack. It's interesting that starter box is its own category, but that is true, and it does share some with some of the other sets, and you can sometimes get them in it. Or rather, in the other set. So if you're looking for a card that you've got from your starter box, also look through the other sets and see what set they're from, because it will kind of show the starter box symbol, even if it's technically from another set. So if you're looking for those cards again, that's kind of a little tip there. As for going with the exact way that filters work, here's a good thing. I want to look for that werewolf, right? So I know it was a green card. I know it was from here in Shadows over Innistrad. So I've got these filters set. Now I just click the X out button and it'll automatically update to all of those cards. Now I can also speed it up even more by going show own cards only. So now I've got it only to the ones that I own, and for that matter, are part of this set. So let's check this out real quickly to see if I can find that werewolf is one that I already own. See, it doesn't seem to register right here, because I don't have that exact version yet. So what I have to do is I have to reset that to show all cards, but it'll still have the filters on for this set. So if we start looking through more of this green set that I have it filtered for, let's see if I can show where that one is. And the fact that I don't have it technically collected yet, so that shows I need to collect more of this set. But here we have, and I've collected a lot of it, so that's saying it's been a little unlucky not getting it yet. But yeah, as you saw the front of this, it was saying that its power and toughness are each equal number of cards in your hand. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, and at the beginning of each upkeep, which also includes your opponents, might add, if no spells were cast the last turn, you transform Sage of Ancient Lore. So if you simply choose in a round not to cast any spells, then whenever your opponent starts their turn, it would transform. Its other form is Werewolf of Ancient Hunger. Now this one has Vigilance and Trample, in addition to its power and toughness being equal to the total number of cards in all players' hands, so it's yours and theirs. And the thing about how a lot of these transforming cards work from the set, at the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform Werewolf of Ancient Hunger. So basically a lot of them can bounce back and forth. If no spells were cast in for a whole turn, it'll transform into its second side, and if 2 spells were cast in the same turn, then that usually means it will transform back to its original form, so you wind up bouncing back and forth. So it's kind of like the Tide of the Moon, and that's part of the lore of this whole set, so very appropriate. And this one's a very powerful card, so I'm probably going to try to collect that a little off screen in a moment, so I'll probably be completing that quest. But for now, just after giving you a bit of tips on how this part works, it's time for me to go. So this has been Glitch Reaper. I'll be logging off. Hope to hear from you all later. Bye for now, everybody, and remember, Friday Night Magic.